This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. We never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show. Kansas City talking sports and pop culture. Listen to the W Show. Radio. Live on one of our social media pages. Check us out. We appreciate Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you guys could hear me or not. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is the W Show, broadcasting live, 100.1 FM, 1 Kansas City Radio. We appreciate you guys making us a part of your Saturday morning, each and every Saturday. If you're just now tuning into us, your first time, we appreciate it. Joined by the other host of the show, DJ Q and Jazz. Good morning.
What up?
Yeah, I didn't know if y'all could hear me. I was like, hello? Got little radio silence there.
Your mic this morning, the music was booming.
Okay. All right.
Steve's having a party.
Most definitely. How was everyone's week? I know we were together yesterday, but you had a whole Friday evening to yourselves. How was that?
Man, Friday evening was an unplug for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City's DJ unplugged on a Friday? Come on, Q.
Oh, I was in bed by 9. Done for.
Old man vibes, huh?
Yeah, I'll definitely washed like a fresh Stafford.
Jazz, how was your Friday evening? Was it eventful?
And I was plugged in. I was still working, working late, so got to sleep in a little bit this morning now, so I can't complain.
All good, all good. All right, coming up on today's show, the NFL season has officially started. We will give our thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had their game last Thursday night. We're going to give our Kansas City Chiefs season predictions, including our NFC and AFC championship game winners and who we think will make it to the Super Bowl. That's coming up in probably about 5 minutes. And also coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll have Doug, also known as the prop bet guy, on the show to talk about prop bets. This is his time of year with the NFL. I think the NFL most definitely has the most prop bets. I don't quote me on that, but I definitely believe so. And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll have our sneakers of the week during our Hater or Love It segment. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Tom Brady goes
About how the game went. A lot of people thought that Dallas this season was going to come in lot of people thought that Dallas this season was going to come in and be a flop. I mean, Dak Prescott, you look at how his season ended last year, and Dallas kind of tanked after that. No one really knew what Dallas was going to do. Dak was held out of preseason games this past preseason, so no one really knew what the Dallas offense would be able to provide this season, and they definitely showed up. They didn't get the win, and I know there's no moral victories in the NFL. However, this this season is going to be one for the books. I think for Dallas, it's a make or break year for Dak Prescott. I do believe.
No, definitely. Steve's got a lot going on in the background over there.
I know. Yeah. I know it. Got the pastor showing up. Pastor's ready to preach.
Definitely. I feel like this football season might end up being a little weird. It might be a little more weird than the year we had last year with COVID. We had a lot of injuries. I feel like the season's going to get turned upside down. And I'd say that from a stance of maybe some young teams emerging. But then also you have injuries playing a factor, especially just like the Ravens are facing right now with their running back situation.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You have all of those. You have some Pro Bowl caliber talent, right?
Yeah.
On a Dallas squad, and for them not to make the playoffs this year, in the worst division in the NFL. I mean, we let's face it, the NFC least is what they're calling it, is the worst division in the league. So for them not to make the playoffs, I think 7 wins, 8 wins will get them into the playoffs. It surely would have done that last season. So they could go, I think they can get 8 or 9 wins and make it into the playoffs and ruin someone's Super Bowl hopes.
Yeah, definitely. And they could. I mean, Dallas is it. You never know what you're gonna get. Like sometimes you get the best Dak Prescott you've ever seen. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get that real great defensive play, but the offense isn't clicking. So it's just one of those. They're one of those toss-up teams, and I feel like you look at every team in NFC East. That's what that is. Even focusing on the whole NFC East, you have the Eagles. What they're going through with their quarterback situation and how unstable that is. So it's a lot going on in that NFC East over there.
Yeah, and it seems like Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, they're clicking on all cylinders. They started off how they finished last season, and do I think that they're a Super Bowl contender? We'll find out just a little bit when we talk about our Super Bowl picks. But I think they're a good team, and Rob Gronkowski, he understands what Tom Brady wants. It's just that chemistry that they've had over the past few years, right? And so. With that being said, I do believe that Tom Brady is going to be Tom Brady at the end of the day. So any team that has Tom Brady, a quarterback of his caliber, you never can count them out.
No, you definitely can't. Tom Brady. Even it was a couple of weeks ago. He just talked about how the league has almost gotten easier as he's gotten older. And you could kind of see the same thing in Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning would come in. He knew teams top to bottom. He knew how to break them down. He knew weak spots. And that's what you're seeing with Tom Brady. You're looking at, somebody that came from that Patriot way system. You look at a system that cut Cam Newton just abruptly last week. So you just look at the amount of preparation and just not being distracted and staying on the same page. And Tom Brady was formed in that system. And now being able to bring that sort of mentality to Tampa Bay, you see it through and through. You see it in the defense. You see what Todd Bowles did with their linebacking core, with their defensive, with their secondary. You know, you see what he did with the defensive line. A lot of very in-your-face, hard-nosed defense, and a lot of that, you know, comes from, and not necessarily saying bringing over the Patriot way, but just learning how to take those moments where you have to be super focused, and then applying the talent that you have with that laser sharp focus. It wins you Super Bowls over teams like the Chiefs, where people really hardly didn't give you any chance. And that's just it. It's a tough team to beat when you have that many veteran leaders with so much young talent around them.
I agree.
Speaking of the Chiefs, it's been a long offseason, but it's finally coming to an end. On Sunday, the Chiefs are taking on the Cleveland Browns at home inside of Arrowhead Stadium. Cleveland is much better than they have been in years, and they have extra motivation since the Chiefs are the same team that ended their season last year. How are you guys feeling about this game?
A lot of people are coming in here thinking that these Chiefs are going to get it's going to be a cakewalk. I can't say that at all.
Yeah,
I can't say that at all. What I can say is that, you know, with Baker Mayfield, and here's the deal. I asked Travis Kelce. I said, Kelce, with all the years that you've seen this Cleveland Browns, of course, because he's from Cleveland, of all the years that you've seen this team, is this the best Cleveland Browns team that you've seen? And he said, oh, most definitely, without a doubt. I mean, you have two good running backs in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and you also have some wide receivers that can get the job done as long as Baker Mayfield is able to get them the ball. So the question is, will Tyrann Mathieu play? I believe Tyrann Mathieu is the head and shoulders of this team. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is the body, of course, but Tyrann Mathieu, as far as head and shoulders goes, he's the leader. He as he goes, they definitely go. And if you guys, I went back and watched the game last season of when the Cleveland Browns faced the Chiefs. And here's the deal: when you saw Tyrann Mathieu, when Kareem Hunt got a lot of those carries, who stuffed him in the hole was Tyrann Mathieu. Mm-hmm. So if he doesn't play, I'm not saying that the Chiefs are going to lose, but I will say this: it's going to be a long day.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if they have really much of a long day with Cleveland like that. I think that Baker Mayfield has to show up before Cleveland has a chance at anything. And we've seen between Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen having to play up to the expectations, or even play somewhere even to try to beat a Patrick Mahomes. We've seen them fail, you know, just far too many times. The lights get a little too bright for them. And that's going to be tough because you're coming back game one from not scoring a touchdown. and I'm speaking from a Patrick Mahomes perspective, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Baker Mayfield to really live up to that. Like, is he prepared for for the big games, the big moments? And this is a statement game. I think this coming out in this season, it's really going to set the tone for both teams. Whether the Chiefs start slow here or if they start fast. And I anticipate a fast start. I anticipate them getting out there and making Cleveland catch up.
Now, somebody else who failed in another category, Gonzaga coach Mark Few, reportedly facing DUI charge after blowing .120. Oof. He's the men's basketball coach, of course, and he's facing DUI charge after being pulled over Monday night, according to the spokesman review. He was pulled over in Dalton Gardens, Idaho, after police received a report a vehicle was speeding and driving erratically. And the report states Few showed several signs of intoxication And there was a release statement after news broke of his pending charge, apologizing for his actions and pledging to never allow alcohol to impair his driving again. Noah, we'll start with you.
He's on mute. There we go. Unmuting.
Yeah, I think Noah's having some audio issues. When here it is again. Another coach. Last week it was the general manager of the Mets. You guys are leadership, are leaders of organizations, right? I know it's college basketball. I know it's not the NBA or MLB or NFL. However, you're still a leader of men. So you have to set the example of what you want these young men to the rules that you want them to abide by. Now, you going and getting a DUI, how does that look if one of your players were to go and do that? He would be what? Suspended, off the team. There would be some type of repercussions from him getting a DUI. Now, will Gonzaga coach be suspended? Will he be removed from his coaching duties? I don't think so, right? I think there's going to be a statement that he puts out, and then that's going to be it. It's going to be kind of brushed under the rug.
It'll be forgotten about.
Yeah,
and it won't end up being one of those things where, you know, they get into a playoff run and they bring it up every 5 minutes about him. You know, it's not going to happen. That only happens to players like Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Cam Newton. You know, it only happens to certain figures. So we won't hear about this after this week. And then whatever statement he makes, whatever apology run he goes on, this will be swept under the rug. And by the time Halloween comes, he might be the man of the year.
and I know we talked about it in the meeting earlier this week about Mark Few to me, and I know Noah kind of compared him to what Bill Self of KU. I think Mark Few is more similar to the coach of Wichita State. I think he just smaller school, you know, small town. And without him, they haven't really done anything, right? So Wichita State got rid of Greg Marshall, you know, and I know the circumstances were different, but I don't know. I think, you know, can this school bounce back from some news coming out about their coach like this? I think they can.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to do something about it just to make sure that everything is all good when the season comes around.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think everything will be fine by the time the first game tips off, and it'll probably be even the first scrimmage.
Now, Notre Dame coach Brian Kelly's execution joke doesn't go over well. The Fighting Irish football team fumbled an 18-point lead in the fourth quarter against Florida State, but still won 41-38 in overtime. After the game, Kelly was asked about his squad's ability to withstand the Seminoles' comeback, and he stated he was in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed after tonight. We just didn't execute very well. Steve, we'll start with you.
Here it is, another coach that has gotten himself in trouble. When are they going to realize you can't say the things that you used to be able to say?
They won't. They won't. And that's the issue with people in their positions, just having that power and that privilege to kind of do and say as they please, and get a slap on the wrist and say, "Oh, I'm sorry." You know, you hate it for the young men that they're under, because the young men that they're under are expected to be exceptional every second of every day of every breath that they take. And when the guys above them mess up, whether it's coaches or front office or athletic directors, we're expected to forgive them and sweep it under the rug. And it's unfortunate circumstances, because they could be there are a lot more guys that are former players that could be coaches that can hold these positions, that can actually take their places. But that good old boy network is not getting penetrated.
For sure. And we have our guest that has called in, and we're gonna talk about some prop bets on the W Show calling line. And we have Doug, also known as the prop bet guy. Doug, how are you? Thanks for doing this.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, for sure. You're an avid sports bettor turned prop bettor from New Jersey, right? Football season is coming back. Is this your time of year or what?
Yes, sir. It's today's like Christmas Eve. Tomorrow's kind of like Christmas morning once kickoff gets going. Love football season. I mean, I dabble in the NBA and baseball as well, but football season for most sports bettors is the favorite time of year for sure. Now
you are. A lot of people don't exactly know when we put your said that you're going to be coming on our show again. A lot of folks have sent us messages of what exactly is prop betting. How do we go about doing prop bets for our listeners? Can you help them understand what exactly prop bets are?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So in terms of sports betting, you obviously have your game lines and your game totals. For example, you got the Chiefs and the Browns this weekend. I think the game line right now is the Chiefs are favored by, I believe it's -5. They're 5.5 or 6-point favorites right now. So, you can bet that. You can bet the Browns as underdogs. You can bet the total for the game, which I believe is hovering around 51 points. So you could bet over that, under that. What prop bets are kind of more specific, specialized bets about different nuances of the game. So where I specialize is player props. So obviously you have so many skill position players. The Chiefs, obviously, for sure, lead the pack in terms of offense in the NFL. So you can bet on Patrick Mahomes specifically, how many passing yards he's going to get, how many touchdowns he's going to get. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, same thing, rush yards, receiving yards, receptions, and so on and so forth. There's just so many different ways you can bet the game, and that's kind of where I hone in these prop bets. I crunch the numbers, and I love looking at specific players as opposed to the entire team.
Now, when you have these different prop bets going on, how are you keeping track of just all the different bets that you can make within the sports world?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I'm considered to be lower volume, especially with football. So you have 15, you have 15 games a week or 15 or 16 games over the course of any given NFL week. I usually just keep my bets to around 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And I'm tracking them kind of the same way anyone would track their fantasy team. I'm watching Red Zone, I'm watching the individual games, and I'm on my phone monitoring the apps if it's not on TV. And I'm just, kind of hanging out and watching the games and living or dying on every play, just like everyone else.
So what's the with all the bets going on this weekend, what's the craziest prop bet that you've seen to put your money on this weekend?
In terms of crazy, it's not like the Super Bowl where you can bet, like literally anything, what Gatorade color is going to get poured on the coach and how long the national anthem is going to be. I usually like to keep it pretty mundane in terms of my bets. I'm just betting on individual players and how they're going to do statistically. My favorite bet of the weekend, I jumped on this immediately when the line came out, was Calvin Ridley, wide receiver on the Falcons, over 78.5 receiving yards. Without Julio. Without Julio there, I think he's going to be the guy. Last year in games without Julio, he had 43% of Matt Ryan's passing yards. I know Kyle Pitts is there. I don't think Kyle Pitts on day one is going to be the next Julio Jones. I think Ridley's still going to be the guy. I think he's going to make that step into being an elite receiver this year. So I really like him coming out of the gate strong.
What are you seeing from the Chiefs this weekend? Are you? I know there's some Patrick Mahomes has some good prop bets out there. What are you seeing from those guys?
Plenty. He's got to have
plenty. For sure. So I like Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns. So it's basically betting on him to throw at least 3 passing touchdowns.
Oh yeah.
You can actually get that at plus money, plus 105. So you get a little bit more back than you put down for the bet. Look, all the talk always about Andy Reid coming out of a bye. You don't want to give Andy Reid more time to scheme and game plan for an opponent.
Definitely.
Well, he's had a lot of time to game plan for the Browns, who's a familiar opponent. They beat him in the playoffs last year. Week 1, the past 3 seasons for Mahomes, he's had 3 and 4 touchdown passes.
Right.
I know Cleveland secondary is improved, but this is Patrick Mahomes. He's got a revamped offensive line that I think is going to protect him fantastically, unlike what we saw in the Super Bowl. And, I just think, I know Cleveland's going to try to control the clock with the run game, but there's still uncertainty with the Chiefs ground game. I think Mahomes is going to go off.
Now I know you have the app Pickwise. Can you talk about that a little bit and how folks can go download that app and start doing some prop bets?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find all my bets, Pickswise.com. It's not just my bets and prop bets. We have analysts putting out sides, totals, parlays for every sport, every game, every day. It's all 100% free. We literally just launched our app yesterday in the App Store, which is just Pickswise. If you pop that in, you can download that in any, wherever you get your phone apps. But come check us out. It's just, if you're a sports bettor, whether you're just getting started or you're experienced, you don't want to go without analysis and seeing where all the angles and the edges are. So come check us out, Pickswise.com, or download the app Pickswise in the App Store.
Now we have a Q. His name is DJ Q on our host of our show, and he's an Eagles fan. And I saw you had tweeted out a couple of days ago about Jalen Hurts at -110. Why Jalen Hurts? Are you thinking he's going to do something this year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what I'm looking at for Hurts versus the Falcons tomorrow is his rush yard total.
Mm-hmm.
I hopped on that. I think he's going to have over at least 45 rushing yards, so over 44.5. Look, I'm actually I hate to say it because I'm actually a Giants fan, but I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. Yeah. I do still have rooting interest. I separate that from the bets, but I think Jalen Hurts, is the real deal. I do think he's going to make it happen a little bit more tomorrow with his legs. It's a new system. It's week 1. He only started 4 games last year, but he showed that he's willing to take off and get the ball down the field with his legs just as much as his arm. I think it's pretty low line, so I like the Falcons pass rush versus the Eagles offensive line. That's going to be a good matchup to watch, but I do think that the new offensive scheme in Philly is going to get Hurts moving a lot.
You hear that, Q? You got some hope out in Philly town.
I hear it. I'm with it.
So, Doug, how can folks contact you if they want to look you up? I know you're heavy on Twitter. How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, at Prop Bet Guy on Twitter. I'm tweeting out my plays pretty much every day. Right now I've got baseball season going, still playing, strikeout bets and other pitcher bets every day. Football, obviously, skewed more towards the weekend. But yeah, come check me out at Prop Bet Guy. And like I said before, all my picks are also at Pickswise.com.
Yeah, I know it's not a prop bet, but who do you have? We're going to talk about our picks a little bit later in the show, but who do you have as your Super Bowl?
I'm not just saying this because I'm calling into you. It's in writing, I promise, for the Pickswise NFL season guide. But I did pick the Chiefs over the Packers this year. I think that the revamped offensive line that Mahomes and company has is just going to make all the difference, and he'll be healthy hopefully throughout the year. And he was battling toe injuries last year in the playoffs. I think we're seeing Kansas City hoisting the trophy again this year.
Doug, we really appreciate you joining in. We're going to have you back on the show mid-season to talk more about these prop bets.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks so much again for having me, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was Doug, the prop bet guy. If you want to find him, it's at the prop bet guy on Twitter. Go and check him out. He'll definitely help you get your bets in order, to say the least. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we're going to have our finish our headline segment and head to Header 11. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Dre, when he was younger, he loved to smile. And we knew he would need braces because his teeth were coming in funny. That's when he had the bunny rabbits. We called him the bunny rabbit.
Now, those are the same two front teeth there that they are now.
Then Dre ended up having to wear braces for 5 years because he never made it to appointments because he was busy playing basketball. If he missed practice, he don't get to play in the game.
This is the picture that was on the front page of the newspaper. All you can notice is the braces.
Then once he got to Michigan State, he broke the retainer.
My bottom teeth, they were really crooked, and I just wasn't getting braces again. Small direct club fits into my lifestyle so well. The liner is so great. It's easy to just grab it and go, and then I can change on the road. I did photo shoots with my liners in, and you can't see them.
I wish Small Direct Club would have been around when I was paying for them. I wouldn't have had to take them out of school. I wouldn't have had to miss work.
It's like a great feeling to have good teeth. A smile is a first impression. That's why I think having a great smile is so important.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we will talk about whatever topic you want. Let's get to our Hate It or Love It segment.
Hate it.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
And starting off our sneakers of the week, we have the Nike Dunk High EMB official basketball merchandise. What are you guys' thoughts?
Not really.
Not a fan.
Not a fan at all.
There.
The Nike Air Force One Fontanka.
I mean, these are actually a decent women's shoe. Although I know some guys will wear it like crazy.
Facts. I'm digging the pink. I actually like the pink, and then the little splash of red on the side. I could rock with them.
Yeah, definitely. It'll go good with a fit.
The Bathing Ape Reebok Insta Pump Fury.
No. I'm gonna say no right off the bat.
I
couldn't even dress that up.
Those are definitely the middle school vibe.
Check.
There's no.
There we go. All right. Finally.
The Bathing Apes, Noel, what you think?
I think they look cool. They definitely look cool. I like when Bape collabs and then they throw the different colors in there. People are gonna wear them just because they're Bapes technically, but they look cool.
You're rocking that colorway?
I mean, I can dress a little bit, so I could throw something together.
Oh, good luck. The Air Jordan Golf Military Blues.
These are for Steve. Those for Steve.
Yeah, that's definitely a Steve pick. A dope colorway though, but
yeah, those are the classic. Pick. Yeah, those for Steve.
I'd rock them. Now the NBA is exploring possibilities for future Field of Dreams style game. Hate it or love it.
As they've done it before already, but it's gonna be trash. just being out.
Definitely.
It's just outdoor basketball. It would have to be like either really, really early in the season or really, really late in the season for the weather to be permitting. So I don't know about all that.
Yeah, no, I think it's too much.
Yeah, here's another reason for the NBA to when you look at the MLB, when you look at the NHL and what they've done, they go and play in different environments. The NBA has to step out. I'm wanting to see them go and play at the Rucker, and you see what college basketball does. I was talking about this yesterday. They've gone and played on naval ships.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible for an NBA organization to say, "Hey, we want to play our game on U.S. naval, whatever you call those ships, but go out there and do something different"? Whether it's preseason or not. We're not saying you have to take the game during regular season for meaningful games, but I think it'd be fun.
And I like when they go to different cities. They go to different countries like Mexico and that stuff like that. But I don't know about outdoors.
No,
yeah, and I would like to see it outdoors. I wouldn't be surprised if the military, if the Navy played a hand in paying for that to happen, to help with recruitment. I mean, we know that they do that at NFL games, so maybe that's what's holding it up. Maybe the Rucker needs to pay to get that done, which they shouldn't.
Exactly.
The Rucker is a legend enough place that could happen. And I also wouldn't mind seeing them play those. What is it, Venice Beach in LA that has
Venice
all
Beach.
the courts?
Yeah.
So yeah, that could be a very good branding and marketing idea. And it's especially for a league as powerful as the NBA, because you look at merch, you could do special shoe drops around that. It's a lot that they could do, but who knows why they don't do it.
Hey, money. You mentioned it. Now they had I can't remember exactly where the Nipsey Hussle court is in LA. That would be cool for the two LA teams to go out and play. Even if it's preseason, do something to where. And I know the NBA doesn't need any marketing help that we know of, but yeah, I think that'd be cool if they just get outside, go outside the box.
Yeah. Stephen A. Smith destroys hypocritical pro athletes for taking supplements and refusing the vaccine. That's the biggest lie imaginable. Hated or love it.
Love it.
I love it. I love it that he stands on that, because it's true. And for players that have all of this access to the some of the top doctors in the cities that they're in the organizations that they're a part of, they could definitely get the research that they're claiming to do and the information right there at home, and they just don't. So the hypocrisy shines because the efficacy the efficacy with the vaccine, I should say, is already documented with over 1 million people having it. So it's tough for them to make new excuses.
Right there on the money. I was going to say, you have enough money and resources and connections you could probably literally put together your own vaccine, and it would be the same thing as what they're giving to us regular folk out here. So I'm not trying to hear it.
Now, Paul Pierce just knows he's not in the wrong. Celtics great Paul Pierce isn't apologizing for viral video with strippers. I didn't do anything illegal. Hate it or love it.
We don't want you to apologize. You're just we don't care. Like we just want you to stop being dumb. Basically, that's what we want.
I wouldn't say it's dumb. The onset, I think, when we first started talking about it, we really didn't know a lot that went in the behind the scenes from Paul Pierce, and now that we're getting a little bit more from him, I guess he's definitely going to be unapologetic. Last night he was inducted to the NBA Hall of Fame. When he went live on social media, the first thing out of his mouth is, "What they gonna say now?" I mean, so
we don't care enough.
The thing about it is, well, some people do. Some people hold him to that on that pedestal, to that high standard of Paul Pierce can do no wrong. Remember, he's a KU Jayhawk, so you have those Jayhawk fans that are like, Paul Pierce, how could you do this to us? So I think Paul Pierce, at the end of the day, he doesn't care. Yeah, he doesn't care. He wanted to be out of and I see why Q had said that from back a few months back when the story first broke. He really didn't care at the end of the day. He was going to do what he's going to do, and not really care too much about it. He didn't care what people were going to think. What did he say here? I did nothing illegal. And this is the norm. This is the norm for guys. They just don't put it out there. I wish that he didn't, make it post it to social media. But at the end of the day, he's gonna do what he's gonna do, right? And so I think for him now, it's like, all right, that's behind me. I'm on to the next best whatever thing that's gonna make Paul Pierce money. And a good thing about him last night is that he made up with Ray Allen. That feud, I guess, is no longer. You guys have to go check out his Instagram live. He posted Ray Allen. He said, "We brothers. We always gonna be brothers." So I felt like that was cool and genuine.
That was good. I mean, the beef was never with him personally. It's just kind of one of those, when you beefing with one person, with one group, now it's kind of like a whole group thing. It never was him. It was really always just Rondo and Ray Allen. So I'm glad that they're finally acting like grown men and hashing it out. But
definitely,
I think it was more KG though. Like, because here's the thing about that. You mentioned Rondo, but I think KG took it as the big brother sort of thing to Rondo. And KG took it upon himself to say, all right, Rondo, I got your back, and I'm going to be your big brother, and I'm going to handle this guy. And he just took it and ran with it.
Yeah, so it was them too. The original problem was the Rondo thing, and like you said, KG he one of those people. He extra, so he took it where it didn't need to go at all.
Yeah, he wakes up wanting smoke.
He's one of those that goes looking for contact.
He goes looking for it.
What do they say? Wake up and chose violence. Choose violence.
Exactly, Jazz. Exactly.
Now, one that I do love, Drake to collaborate with ESPN. Football music. Hate it or love it.
I love it. Sure, man. Make it happen, Drake. Go get paid, black man.
I don't know. I'm curious to see. The thing about it is, and I know we talked about it before. ABC, which is also ESPN brand, when you watch the NBA during the regular season and even into the playoffs, they have some pretty dope music going into breaks and coming back from breaks, and I love it. But I'm wondering how football fans are going to take it.
They're going to love it. They're going to love it. It's the biggest artist in the world right now. Like they're going to love it. And they stuck too long to this country music theme, way too long. Like and this could possibly be another product of what we saw with the Hove collab, with the EQ distro thing and everything that they did with the equity movement, bringing on, I think it was Rock Nation to bring on to help, put together the entertainment. And Monday Night Football is one of those things that do suffer from the sport just being old and not keeping up with the culture, with pop culture, I should say. And leaning too heavy and focusing on a certain group of people, as Noah was alluding to, that would hate this. And good, you should hate it, because the players. How many players do you think knew any other songs from the guy that sang the Monday Night theme song for the last 40 years? Like, they probably couldn't name another song. Probably, I can't even tell you his name.
I didn't know he was a real artist. I thought he was just he just did that, and he was just that. I didn't know he was even a real artist. So that's to your point.
It's a woman though, right? Or is that Sunday Night Football?
No, it's
Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Monday night is the man with the cowboy hat who yells out.
Yeah, you're right. So
yeah, spot on.
So again, like the NFL has no problem letting pop culture just float on by, and then they want to complain about not making money and not having this. Like there's nothing to complain about. You have to go to your target audience, and your target audience, I almost guarantee you, more of them know Drake and are familiar with Drake's music. So I wouldn't understand doing anything but this.
Now, are they going to ease it in, like, and go with some of Drake's pop hits, or are they going to just go straight to, the?
Well, okay. When you look at this, it says Drake to collaborate with ESPN on Monday Night Football. They probably already have a song that they've crafted. Mm-hmm. So the announcement is just letting us know of what's to come. Mm. So it might be a whole specific song for it. I mean, we saw Wale do the intro for First Take some years back. Yeah. Even just having that, like, it makes things more cool when you appeal to your audience that's watching. And the majority of the NFL is not watching from a barnyard with cowboy boots on and big, large bucket hats. Like, that's not the majority of the fan base at all.
Drake's new album, Certified Lover Boy, have y'all listened to it? And what's your favorite on the album?
What was that? A sigh. He's like,
No, I'm a Drake fan. Like, I really do. The hype around everything that he does, I mean, it's top notch. Like, his team is the hype around everything that he does is always a bigger deal. Come back to me on his favorite song though on the album. I think the album is dope though.
I'm gonna go TSU.
Yeah. The best part of the album is that Houston segment. That segment that's dedicated to Houston with TSU and In Too Deep. Mm-hmm. It's very spot on. If you've been to Houston, if you're familiar with Houston and the culture and the nightlife of Houston. Both of those songs do speak to that. And he also references a lot of Houston culture that you kind of have to be in Houston to know. Yeah. But as far as the album, it was more of the same from Drake. He's
ain't it always though.
he's like an iPhone. It's the next upgrade, and it's nothing too much different than what came before it. And that's my criticism for Drake. If you're the biggest artist in the world, you should be pushing the culture forward. And not to say that the album is bad, because Drake doesn't make bad music, but Drake has almost gotten to a point where it feels like he's hit a ceiling. And personally, I want to see more. Like, I don't want to see a Kanye West doing all of these crazy antics just to bring attention to himself for this album that he has. Like, I want to see a guy come out with a very almost genius marketing plan, rolling it out with the billboards, with the album art, leaving it up to interpretation for whoever saw it. You've seen all of the theories around it. But I just want to see more from Drake. He's an artist that I want to see
musically
really experimenting with sounds. And you would think that an album called Certified Lover Boy would
I thought it was gonna be an R&B joint, so they're more R&B.
And you might think that, but Drake never shies away from being a rapper too. So it's really hard to expect that, but it's also hard to expect a guy that jumps from wave to wave is gonna, push the culture forward with new sounds and new ideas. And that's always my criticism with Drake, because he's front running, and I want to see more chances taken from him. I want him to take culture that's not as popular and make it cool.
And Josh Lewis, he said Poppy's Home is his favorite.
Yeah, and Poppy's Home. You get it from Josh's stance. Him being a dad.
Yeah,
of course.
I like
Poppy's
that too.
Home is gonna, see, the dads unite.
Exactly. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Up Down Nightlife as well. But mine would be Love All with Jay-Z. I'm a Jay-Z fan through and through. So. Yeah, that's my favorite rapper of all time. So any song that he's featured on, I gotta go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I won't say he wasted a whole feature. I feel like having a whole feature on your album needs to be, next level. That song needs to be, but again, this was more of the same of Drake. He took a lot of everything that you knew from Comeback Season and Take Care and all of those songs and kind of just made a modernized 2021 version of it. And I just want to see more from the biggest artists in the world.
and shout out to Richard Perilla as well over at 1KC Radio, helping us stay on the air each and every week, making us sound better than what we really are. He said, dang, I thought everyone knew who Hank Williams Jr. was. Oh, well, the woman who originally was Faith Hill, but now Carrie Underwood is associated with Sunday Night Football on NBC. Yes, I
did actually know the name Hank Williams. I did actually know that, but I don't know any of his music. But I do know the name because of Monday Night Football.
And that's the only reason, because I wanted to say Hank, but I kept wanting to say Hank Hill. So I knew I was crossing culture by that.
Yeah, you definitely was. You definitely was.
Now, the NFL Network has added betting lines to their ticker for the first time in history.
I love it. I really do.
Modernize. They better get with the times because it's been happening for a while.
No, it's definitely been time for this. It's been time for them to really lean on to this. Betting is now becoming a regulated industry that every state can enjoy. And I think it's going to help, with their revenues, being able to figure out how to work it into their business model, as in all sports. So
for sure. Now, Vander Holyfield versus Vitor Belfort's rules set for Triller Fight Club showdown. Hate it or love it.
I'm actually interested in watching this though. Like, I think Holyfield can still throw him a little bit. I really do. I think because Holyfield was never a one of those, like, you look at Roy Jones. What was he known for? He being quick and moving around a lot. Holyfield was just that power guy. He really was. So I'm interested to watch it. Holyfield going to get this bag, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I like it. I like these older guys coming out, especially out of retirement and showing that they still got it. Is interesting to see because we put limits on these athletes, especially when it comes to age. And a lot of these guys don't stop. I think when we were sitting down with Chad Johnson at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, he was like, no, I still work out every day. He's like, I still, retirement or not, this is, embedded in me. So I love it. And then I also heard a rumor that this might be a setup for a Holyfield Tyson.
I think so. Man. That's gonna be cool. I'm gonna be right there, front and center, seeing if Tyson gonna take a bite of his other ear.
You're what's wrong with everything in this world. Yeah, come on, man.
I'm here for it.
They've mended that. They've mended that relationship. I'm sure they have.
But have they?
I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Actually,
definitely.
Baltimore Ravens add running back Le'Veon Bell to practice squad. Hate it or love it.
Where's the button?
Desperate.
Hate it. Hate
it. What you hating on Le'Veon for, man? He ain't do nothing to you personally.
Oh, yes, he has. No. Do you remember those playoff games?
I mean, I get it, but he didn't do anything to him personally. He just wasn't a good football player.
It ended Steve's favorite quarterback's career. That Steve has a very soft spot, just like Steve's hates LeBron for what he's done to him, and also what
I don't understand why we bringing up old stuff. Y'all bringing up a lot of old stuff today for whatever reason. I don't get it.
It's a deep-seated hate. But has this been upgraded to starter since they had two? I saw they had 2 or 3 ACL tears in practice in one day.
He'll play.
2 running backs have gotten season-ending injuries.
And
Marcus Peters.
Peters, yeah,
he'll play. And think about it is a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, Le'Veon this, Le'Veon that." He just couldn't function under Andy Reid's system. I do believe that, and so he'll flourish. and he'll flourish in Baltimore, I believe. And it's going to be like, well, why couldn't Le'Veon? And that's going to bring the question: why couldn't Le'Veon do this in Kansas City? We needed this last year. Well, again, Andy Reid's system is complex, man, and I don't think he was really here all the way for it. If he would have been here at the beginning of the season, I think so, but not in the middle of the year.
I'm betting against him flourishing. I think when it comes to running backs, and we saw it a little bit. I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but Zeke did not look like himself at all. And the system is built for Zeke, and he didn't look himself. He got paid, and it looks like he just wasn't doing much after that. Le'Veon got paid, and he hasn't looked the same since. So I'm betting against him now he's turning to the dynamic Le'Veon we saw in Pittsburgh. So I don't know about that, man.
I would love to agree with you, Noel, but this team that has Lamar Jackson, I don't know. They're
gonna start off slow, like always.
And they very well could start off slow, but I think Le'Veon is a guy that can really turn around the team, and especially with his run ability. I won't say that the Chiefs system was too complex. I think the relationship that he had with coaching was more complex than the playbook. So,
Of course.
USA Today asked Josina Anderson for USA Today Sports Plus launch. Hate it or love it?
Love it.
Yeah,
love it for her. You love to see these people leaving ESPN in droves, especially the talented people.
Exactly.
For sure. Now, Sue Bird says, no question in mind that Diana Taurasi is the GOAT. Hate it or love it.
Could be true.
It could be true. Ride for your homies. Right? You always got to ride for your homies. There's other names that we can definitely bring up.
Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper,
all of those, Cheryl Swoops,
Candace Parker, it's a lot.
It's a whole lot. We can't just go there. That to me is like the Jordan debate to me. Like it's no doubt in my mind. All right, well it's Kareem, it's LeBron, it's Magic, it's other people in there. Is all I'm saying.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. Now we for those of y'all who've been waiting so long to see our picks for this football season, Q, I'll let you go ahead and start it off. Who you have?
Man, I always have to throw in a sleeper pick. I always like to reach out to a team that I know that's going to do well. Well, that I think is going to do well, over the next couple of seasons, and that's Miami. I mentioned it last year on the Red Hour. Well, 2 years ago on the Red Hour, I think, or it was last year. When they played. But Miami is a young, scrappy team. They have a quarterback now. They are a team that can rise fast, and especially in that NFC East when you don't know what, the Bills are going to be good, but you also don't know what the other teams in that AFC East are going to look like, especially the Patriots. So they could surprise some teams, but then you also have Tennessee. But I still just like this young, scrappy team in the Dolphins. We know the Chiefs are going to do well. And I'm just betting on Russ. I'm betting on Russ in Seattle. He always starts fast and kind of tapers off. But I just feel like Russ is at this point where he could ascend, and it could come down to him and Aaron Rodgers. But I think Aaron Rodgers, if this is going to be his last year in Green Bay, I think he's going to go out very motivated.
Jazz, your picks?
So I have the Chiefs versus the Bills, Seahawks versus the Bucks, and then Bucks versus the Chiefs. Chiefs getting the dub. I really just want to see the rematch. I feel like there's so much controversy, so much tension. There's the turf toe. There's this, that. There's no scoring a touchdown. I think that they need to clear the air this year and run it back like they were supposed to do last year.
Exactly. Supposed to. Well said, Jasmine. Well said. No, your picks.
So I got the Chiefs and the Browns in the AFC Championship game. The Browns, they have the best roster, top to bottom in the NFL. So it's going to be hard to beat them all season. Obviously, the Chiefs, they're the Chiefs. Like the only, real question about them is, are they going to lose 1 or 2 games in a regular season? We already know who they are. Over in the NFC, we got I really believe in Aaron Rodgers, this season, like really showing that like, hey, I'm elite, and you guys made a mistake by forcing me out of here and not doing, what I asked, or at least consulting me. So I think he's going to drive them all the way to the NFC Championship game. And then I got LA Rams, Matthew Stafford. I think he's going to push them over the edge. I think they have a very elite roster as well. And then I got Chiefs over the Chiefs over Green Bay in the Super Bowl. I think Patrick Mahomes does it for the city.
All right, those are our picks. Jasmine couldn't have said it better for me. We had the same picks on the schedule there. So coming up next week, if you love the Chiefs, we'll have more Chiefs talk. If you're just now watching us, we appreciate it. Go like us on social media. If you need vaccination, we're here at the Neighborhood Vaccination and Health Check. Come down, check us out. Until next week, we are out of here.
Peace.